figures. Anyway, Bash in Berlin is come and gone. All Out looms. Let's talk about it. Welcome to the Wrestling Council. Welcome to the Wrestling Council. I'm your host, Comic Book Bob. Joining as always with my good friend Hollywood Frank.
HW, baby. Let's do this.
Rocking the Jay Briscoe shirt.
Reach for the sky.
Ah, boy. You can catch us here every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, talking about all the news in wrestling. You can also follow us on social media. It's in the link in the page, and also crawling below. And big week in wrestling this week. WWE just had their Bash in Berlin. Pretty good show, man. Pretty good show. I enjoyed it. One match in particular, we'll definitely talk about that. We're also bringing back a couple of an old favorite segment. We'll talk about that in a minute as well. But before that, let's go ahead and check in with everybody first. Leg Kick was first. He said, "So, what do you want to talk about?" I gotta make a clip of that. So I put that up there. But we got to talk about everything, man. Talking about all the wrestling. Maldacito's next said, "Sup, people." What's up, Maldacito?
Sup?
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 Hello.
What's up?
What's up?
And Maldacito said, "Sup, Leg Kick." Regional Leg Kick. Big Daddy said, "Hey, yo. Everybody stay aware out there. Head on a swivel. Dangerous times, and that's a shoot." Yeah, you're telling the truth about that, Big Daddy. But appreciate you, man.
Hey, yo.
Yep, hard times out there, guys. But hard times don't last, but bad guys do. Everybody else here said, Maldacito said, "What's up, Chaos?" Leg Kick. Big Daddy just holding it down, keeping it real, maintain. Yep, definitely.
That's all you can do.
Johnny said, "Won't be able to join today. Also, you might need to send me the link through Discord from now on." Yeah, there was an issue with Twitter. Frank told me about it. I sent the message out, the link out a while back, and for some reason it didn't go through, but we got to figure it out. But interesting week, man. Very interesting week. Obviously, there's a lot of turmoil going on in the world. We're going to try and tune that out a little bit here and just focus on some wrestling. And it was a good weekend, man. You didn't watch the whole show, right?
Oh, bits and pieces.
Yeah. It was another one of those ones because it was overseas, weird time.
Yeah.
But I managed to I didn't watch it the initial broadcast. I watched it on the rerun, but interesting show. Interesting show.
Yeah, very predictable.
Yeah. Well, it's that's okay. Sometimes given doing what the obvious thing is the right choice. But there was a lot of good wrestling. We'll talk about that. For that, let's go ahead and get into our favorite segment, a little something we call The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. It was on a delay this time for weird.
Big Daddy wants a double hey yo.
A double hey yo? Yeah, we could do that.
Hey, yo.
Because it's just too sweet. There you go. There's your double hey yo, buddy. Miss Sarah said, "Good evening, everyone." Good evening, Miss Sarah. Appreciate you joining us. And everybody watching on YouTube, everyone that's going to be watching on Twitter, and everybody that's going to be watching later. Give us your good, your bad, your ugly, and drop a message in the chat after it posts and tell us what you guys want to talk about. Cleveland Sports Card says, hey, what's up, Sports Card? Appreciate you being here, man. But so the GBU it is that guy's turn.
This guy.
What's your GBU there? Biggins.
For what I did watch, of Bash at Berlin, I didn't mind the Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens match to start it off.
Mm-hmm. It was a good match, and we knew it was going to be a good match. I mean, they're both great.
I don't remember there ever being an issue with Cody Rhodes' knee going into the match. I might have missed that somewhere.
They kind of just took that out of like left field, and like it was one of those things where like we got to create some kind of drama during the match. So, and we don't want these guys working heel or when they're both faces. So we got to create something. So that's what they did with that.
Yeah, it's like just pull this out and throw it into the match. Just let it go the way it is. It's like don't need to add stuff. The good for that show though was Gunther versus Randy Orton.
God damn it!
Even though
that match is so good.
You do brand split for a reason, but you let guys come over anyways. I don't understand the whole thing. Not that I don't understand it. It's just that if you're going to do a brand split, keep it as a brand split. But whatever. They had Orton come over, challenge Gunther. You knew that Orton wasn't going to win.
No.
You're going to have hopefully a lengthy reign from Gunther as champion.
Yeah, and they need to have, and he needs to have a nice long reign too to put some legitimacy on that title.
And that was the great way to end that match. You're starting to give some legitimacy to that title, which, as you mentioned on Twitter, X, whatever, yesterday or today, it is. Yeah.
I'm here.
It's a consolation prize, but hopefully, with Gunther and some of these other guys, they can make it not feel it like that as much. We'll see.
Yeah, and I really do think he's the right guy to do that.
Yeah.
Not saying that Priest's run was bad, not saying that Seth's run was bad, but they need something to take that belt and elevate it because they had their own people running that thing down.
Yeah. Yeah, they did. Roman Reigns and they were running it down. It's like honorable mention with Sami Zayn talking about on Raw last night how that title elevated others to be world, or Intercontinental title elevated people to be world champion, which is great to see that. I mean,
yeah,
because that's what it is. Intercontinental title should be a precursor to world title.
Yeah, it's legit. It's supposed to be the number 2 for the longest time. It was always the number 2 belt. Whoever had that belt, they were automatically the number 1 contender.
And if that's where they're going with that, then great. I'm happy to see that if that's where they go with that. Time will tell, but that's indication last night is that's where we're going to go. Hopefully they continue to do that.
Yeah. And right now, I would say even though Gunther now has the new world title, I would still say that the IC title is the number 2 title right now.
Yeah. And I was pleasantly surprised by the in-ring work last night of forgot her name.
Maxine Dupree.
I
was surprised too, man.
I was really impressed with that.
I'm gonna say it. Like she earlier this year, man, when she was at the Royal Rumble, she sucked. She was awful. She was terrible.
And whoever's working with her,
yeah, she's
doing a good job.
She's still kind of rough. But she's definitely making progress.
Yeah.
Real quick, like it said, good Ricochet, bad Punk and Drew, stupid bracelet. The match was good though. Ugly, that eye injury to Kai. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. Whoo boy. And just glad it wasn't friggin' Nia this time.
And I agree with leg kick. The bad is that whole Punk Drew McIntyre bracelet BS. Like he ripped it in half and shoved it down Punk's throat. Hopefully that bracelet is gone.
Well, it's gone now, definitely. But I mean, he made him swallow it.
The whole thing is done and over with the bracelet. Just got the wrestlers be wrestlers. Let's not involve extra stuff into it. The right person won at Bash in Berlin. Punk beating Drew McIntyre. in the strap match, take his bracelet back.
Yep.
If they want to continue the feud, fine. They didn't need to include the bracelet last night. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm like, here's the thing. Like they're gonna run it back. They're gonna have another match, and the match will be good. The match will be good. Me personally, though, I think it's time to move on.
Yeah.
I think it's time to move on. But we're gonna get at least one more match out of this, and then hopefully they'll move on to something else.
Yeah, and they're talking about moving Punk versus Gunther next.
Yeah.
After they do this feud, which I'm fine with that, as long as Punk can stay healthy.
Yeah. And honestly, I think they may, and there's actually some people talking that they may have done this beatdown with Drew, because there was video of him of Punk kind of limping around after the match. So he may have gotten a little dinged up. And if that's the case, yeah, do a storyline angle and let the guy heal up.
Yeah.
Big Daddy said, to me, just my opinion, WWE having the third heavyweight title in the main event and the undisputed heavyweight championship first makes no sense at all. Yeah, I understand why they did it. I'm still of the mind that, whoever's your main champion, whoever's your undisputed champion, they should be the main event. I get why they did Gunther, because he's the hometown guy. Me personally, though, I would have had his match be the co-main event, like the second to the last match, and then do Cody, or do something like that. Because in my mind, if you're holding the undisputed title, which is the original WWE title, you're the guy.
Yep.
So I agree.
Another point in the Cody Rhodes run is not what we wanted it to be. Point with it being the first match.
Yeah.
And then my ugly is yeah. I agree.
I get it.
Oh, Tom Grab got stopped. Just Russell. Is, and we'll talk about it a little bit more. I'm not going to get too much in it, but this whole thing with the domestic violence with Odyssey Jones.
Good Lord, dude.
You had a whole deal with McMahon and Grant. You have that female NXT UK wrestler, Amale, I think his name is.
Yeah, she's a NXT UK wrestler. I don't know if she's still with the company, but
no, she's a former.
Yeah.
And what was it?
Nikki Bella.
Oh yeah, Nikki Bella and her husband. It's like, geez, Louise.
Yeah, it's the floodgates of hell open this week for some reason. I've read both sides where Odyssey Jones has been fired, where he's not been fired. Mm-hmm. We don't know the whole details yet, but at the very least, he's been removed from their roster page.
Yeah, I didn't even talk about him last night.
And pretty much any plans with him are at the very least shelved. The word coming out from multiple sides is that he's been let go, or he's about to be let go.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
But that's by GBU. What, Mr. Rob, asked you fire off your question. What are your thoughts on Joe Tessitore yesterday? If you watched Raw,
I think it's a little too early. I like the enthusiasm. A lot of people are comparing him to Ranello, and a little bit, and again, just a little bit as far as his enthusiasm. They're kind of comparing him to Ranello and Joey Styles. I like that. I think they need more guys like that. It's the guys with that inject some friggin' passion into it. I think it's too early. I think he's had one show.
Yeah.
So, but looks good so far. He needs, obviously, he needs to, get up on the terminology and, get himself a little steeped into the friggin' lore and whatnot. But positive results so far.
Yeah, but you're only as good as your next.
As the person sitting next to you, yeah.
Yeah, so it's, you got to make a good first impression.
Yeah. And I think he did that. I think he he gave a pretty good first impression.
And Mr. Learning Tree GOC, your thoughts would be nice as well. If how you thought about Mr. Tessitore That is my GBU. Time for this man.
Yo. So my GBU. So this past week, I believe, there was an event in Japan. It's hosted by Minoru Suzuki. It's called Takayama Empire, and it's a fundraiser benefit show that they do every year for Yoshihiro Takayama, who was paralyzed from the neck down in 2017. And the show is done to raise money for his medical and his living expenses. And this year, I think, was it was a big deal because over the pandemic, they weren't able to do the show, and that was a big issue for Suzuki. But they did it this year, and it was very emotional. The videos online, you can see it. Like, you actually, like, Suzuki was actually in tears. But it was an interesting show. It was headlined by Minoru Suzuki versus freaking Katsuyori Shibata, baby. And there were special guests, including the likes of Kenta Kobashi and Keiji Muto. It's just one of those it was just one of those feel good moments, man. They actually brought him into the ring. Obviously, he's paralyzed from neck down, but literally everybody was on that show. Everybody that was a part of it, they were all in tears. So, and that's what wrestling really is, man. Like, to me, that's the true spirit of professional wrestling. And it was just a really cool thing to see. So that was my good. My bad. Kairi Sane getting injured. She had to receive multiple stitches for a cut she suffered during her Raw match with Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. She was injured on she came off the top turnbuckle, and as she was beginning to jump, apparently Bianca Belair wasn't quite in position. Isla Dawn grabbed Bianca and moved her closer. And because of that, Kairi Sane overshot Bianca and hit the announcer's desk. It was very clear that Isla Dawn, like, they were out of position. She was trying to move her into position where she was supposed to be. Unfortunately, because Kairi had already seen that she was out of position, and she basically aimed herself where Bianca was. You know, it's one of those things. It was one of those bang bang things that happens. Nobody did anything intentional. It was an accident. And unfortunately, she caught that friggin' thing, and it busted her open bad. I mean, her eye was just full of blood. So, it's never good when someone gets injured. Sometimes miscommunication happens, but it's just the nature of the business. But it was pretty ugly. She posted some pictures of it online. It's pretty gruesome stuff. So if you got an issue with blood, maybe don't check it out. OTS Tribal Queen said, I was watching WWE for the first time at Bash in Berlin. I would have assumed Gunther was a top guy in the company, hands down. Cody looks less likely that. Yeah, we've talked about it. I've had some issues with the way Cody's been booked. Honestly, it feels like he's kind of in a holding pattern until they solidify what's going on with the bloodline. I wish they would pull the trigger on that sooner rather than later, because I do feel like that some of those. I mean, Cody's still freaking crazy over. Yep. He's crazy over, which kind of surprises me. I thought it would have cooled off a bit, especially considering the way he's been booked. So I'm not too worried about it yet, but it's getting to the point where I'm like, he needs to be in a real rivalry, like something real. We're going for him in Solo 2, apparently, which I think is like, well, okay, well, he's not going to win. So, but yeah, I get what you're saying. It does feel kind of truncated. But that's my bad. And my ugly, what you were touching on before, Odyssey Jones, who had been just last week, had been injected into the storyline with the
New day.
The New Day. And seemed like he was on the verge of becoming like the third guy, at least until we get the obvious heel turn from Xavier Woods. But literally like that, disappeared from the roster. The word coming down is that he's either been released from the company or is about to be released, stemming from abuse allegations that have been. So apparently, something I said that these allegations have been out there for quite a few months now, and it's just now gotten to WWE's ears. So we'll keep you posted on that. Not sure exactly what's going on. Yeah, they feel kind of stagnant without Big E, which is unfortunate because I really like Big E.
Yeah,
but and then of course, obviously the other allegations, the biggest one being Nikki Bella, aka Nikki Garcia, filed for divorce against her husband. I'm not even going to try to pronounce this dude's name.
don't.
His first name is Artem. The last name is Chigvintisova.
You just fucked it up.
Yeah, something like that. I'm sure I butchered the shit out of it. After allegations of domestic abuse, and this week it was reported that she had contacted divorce lawyers. That's never good stuff. It's pretty awful stuff. So, thoughts and prayers going out to all of them. And hopefully, and like I said, I'm saying allegations because it hasn't been confirmed, but from what I've been reading, it's pretty much a done thing. It's a done thing. So
yeah, honestly, hasn't been charged with anything.
Yeah,
as of now.
Yet. So we'll see. But if they are in fact guilty of that, then yeah, they need to burn in a fire. So all right, so that's our GBU. Next up,
Leg Kick wants to know who will be joining Moxley besides Marina Shafir.
I'll tell you who I'd like to join him. I wish Josh Woods. Josh Woods fits perfectly in with that kind of a friggin' faction. I've always been high on Josh Woods. He's awesome, man. He's a former Pure champion. He's a real grappler, and dude's a badass. And I'm shocked that he wasn't part of the BCC. I would have put him in with the BCC before I would have put Will Yuta in.
No, now you got Pac in there.
Yep. Well, Pac. Dude, Pac's good. I like Pac. Pac's got the right attitude, And without William Regal there, they need that connection to Blackpool. So, there you go.
Well, you could add Shane McMahon to Moxley and Marina.
Look, if McMahon's got a lot of connections that could be helpful to the AEW, he doesn't need to be in front of the camera. He doesn't need to be taking time from somebody else that could be working. Like, let's be real here.
And I know you're happy that the Wild thing.
Oh God, dude, I'm so that's the best thing to come out of this whole thing. Get rid of that. That song did not fit Moxley at all. Not at all. Well, see, here's the thing. Moxley definitely needs an image change, 110%, and I'm hoping that this is the beginning of that. But we'll see.
Would you put him with or put Sammy Guevara with him since he's been out for a while?
With who? Moxley?
Yeah.
No, not with. It looks like what they're doing is they're kind of like, it's like what Leg Kick says. They're kind of doing kind of like a blood sport thing. As long as Marina Shafir doesn't talk, that's fine. But
Bobby Lashley
works. Yeah, that would work. But like I said, Josh Woods. Josh Barnett would work. I mean, I don't think Josh Barnett wants to go work for AEW though. Pac and Pete Dunne would be a perfect match together. Oh God, yeah. Pete Dunne's being wasted where he's at right now. But yeah, and like I said, hopefully this is something new for Moxley, because I think he needs to be reinvented a little bit. But the first move that they've made so far, that I'm 100% behind, is getting rid of that friggin' song.
Yeah, but definitely bring in Bobby Lashley. If you're gonna go to Bloodsport and rough and tumble guys like that,
Yeah.
Marina Shafir and Moxley.
Nigel said he wants to have at least one more match in AEW after he was there at All In. So if he does, it's got to be with friggin' Bryan Danielson. After all the shit he's been talking, it has to be with Bryan Danielson. So, but I think Lashley's coming in with a new version of the Hurt Business. Because didn't they trademarked the names Hurt Syndicate?
I think so.
Something like that. Yeah. But we'll see. Hopefully this is the beginning of them changing up Moxley's image. But like I said, so before we get into Bash in Berlin and what we thought about that and our predictions for All Out, we're bringing it back, man. We're bringing back who better than Randy Orton? Obviously, I think this is the perfect time to bring this segment back. Orton and Gunther had the absolute best match on the entire card. It was a friggin' banger. In my personal opinion, I think it's up there. It's a contender for match of the year. I've always been really high on Gunther. I think the guy is just he's the next big thing. He really is, in my opinion. So in this segment is something that we used to do back in the OG days of the Wrestling Council. And that was who better than Randy Orton? Randy Orton, a lot of people have Randy Orton on their Mount Rushmore. Randy Orton's one of those guys that is definitely up there in terms of his place in the professional wrestling world and the wrestling history. But is he really a top guy like that? It's like comparing him to people of the past. So the way we used to do it, we would pick one classic wrestler, one wrestler from like the Attitude Era, and then another one from current day. So starting it off, and it's been so long, so I can't remember it because I know that we've done like hundreds of these. Bruno Sammartino, is he better than Randy Orton?
And I don't know what wrestlers Rob's throwing at me, because this is the blind.
We're going in dry, baby. I want your 100% reaction, brother. Who you got? Is Bruno?
It's tough comparing eras because there's so many more guys now than there was during Bruno's time.
Yep.
So many more, but
I mean, think about it. And here's the thing: there's some people's like my criteria would be different from like Boogie's. Boogie's would be different from Yule's, etc., etc. I usually compare like how good they were in the ring and the impact that they had on the business.
I would have to go Bruno.
That's a tough one, isn't it?
Bruno over Randy.
Yeah, you think so?
I think so.
All right, what do you? What about you guys? What do you guys think? Is Bruno Sammartino better than Randy Orton?
Bruno has the longest WWF whatever you want to call it run as champion.
Was literally defined the era that he was in.
Yeah.
For me, this was a tough one, and it's the reason why I actually selected, because I actually had to think about this for a while. I think just with how big of an impact Bruno Sammartino had on professional wrestling, on the professional wrestling industry, and his accomplishments. I mean, Randy is what, a 13-time? 14 times. Yeah, 14-time world champion. But Bruno's run eclipses everybody. So, in my personal opinion, it's got to be Bruno. In this case, I put Bruno Sammartino over Randy Orton. OTS Queen says Bruno. Malicito says Bruno. OTS Tribal Queen says, whoa, crap, whoa, the heck.
Where you going?
It for some reason I clicked on the chat and it just popped up. Randy has never been the guy. Case closed. Wow. Okay. I hear you. I feel you. But yeah, for me, it's Bruno Sammartino, and that's not and that's not a slight to to Randy Orton, man. I mean, look at who we're talking about. He's arguably one of the greatest of all time. I mean, Bruno Sammartino is one of the greatest of all time. Next up, and this is another guy that's been hot lately, and he's been a big deal. CM Punk. Is CM Punk better than Randy?
Not even close. Not
Now,
even close.
Here's the thing. In the ring, no. I think Randy is far better in the ring than CM Punk. However, you cannot deny the effect that CM Punk has had on the wrestling industry. Okay? The guy literally elevated and then brought AEW crashing to earth. Okay? All right. So, depending on your criteria, your opinion may be skewed. What do you got, Frank? What do you think?
I said Randy all the way.
I think Randy's
It's not even close.
he's better than
A lot better than Punk.
okay. Scarlett said CM Punk better than Randy. Are y'all drunk? OTS Queen said that's a much closer comparison. I think so too. I think it's a much closer comparison when you look at it from different facets.
If Punk wasn't gone for 7 years, we might have a different.
That's another valid point too. Punk basically left the business for a very long
He didn't
time.
leave. He got.
Well, he could have gone somewhere else. He didn't.
He could have.
Oh crap. Leg Kick said, I've never been a Randy fan. Okay, I get you. Malicito said Randy hands down. All right. Yeah, that gap hurts. Yeah, that gap definitely does. It does throw a kind of a spanner in the works. For me, acknowledging that Punk is one of the most over professional wrestlers of all time, acknowledging how good he is at telling a story, his in-ring ability doesn't come close to Randy Orton's. Randy, in my opinion, is a far, far, far better in-ring wrestler than he is. I don't think Randy's as good on the as good as Randy is on the stick. I don't think he's anywhere near as good as CM Punk. But I think Randy closes the gap with just his longevity and how he's maintained his position at the top as one of the top guys in the company, and he deserves it. So in my personal opinion, Randy is better than CM Punk. He's a massive draw for this day. He was a massive draw for every era that he was in. But I do think that the layoff hurts him, and I also think that when it comes to their in-ring ability, I think Randy takes it. All right. And here we go. A current day star. Is Roman Reigns better than Randy Orton?
Roman Reigns.
Roman Reigns, the tribal chief. 3.5 years as the world heavyweight champion. The undisputed world heavyweight champion. Unified the original titles. Ran roughshod over everybody. Was the center stone and the catalyst for arguably the greatest wrestling storyline in the last 3 or 4 years.
No, he's not better than Randy.
You don't think he's better than Randy?
Nope.
Scarlett, dude, this question.
Part of it is his Brock Lesnar of the title.
Oh, the defending it only like 8 times in a year.
his constant bloodline outside interference with the title.
Okay.
Randy
Right.
Orton didn't need that.
Yep.
Bruno Sammartino didn't need that.
Yep. Bruno is uno. Big Daddy.
Be the champion and stand on your own if you want to be considered one of the greatest.
Okay. Aura matters immensely. Yeah, I agree. I agree. And Roman, I think Roman is he's one of the top guys working in the business today. I think he's vastly improved from his first run as the world champion.
Mr. Suffering Succotash.
Yeah, Mr. Suffering Succotash and Mr. Dog Food. Scarlett said, at this generation, Roman, back generation, Randy, and let's not forget, Randy may have like 4 or 5 years. Roman's got 10 years plus. I don't think Roman's got 10 years left. I think Roman's going to Hollywood. Now, Roman, if he wanted to, he could pull a Cena or a Rock and just show up every other year for the next 15 years and be there. Something spicy. Leg kick out here saying Harley Race is better than Bruno Sammartino. Woo. Getting heated here.
You also got to look at the fact that leukemia could always come back with Roman Reigns.
Yeah. Scarlett said both are good. Yeah, all the people that we're mentioning on this list, like they wouldn't be on this list if they weren't good. The question is, considering who Randy Orton is, his longevity, his ability in the ring,
Scarlett has a question for us.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead, Scarlett. Hit me. OTS Tribal Queen says Harley over Bruno. No. Leg kicks like yup. Round 1, fight. Maldacito just got cut off twice while typing. Dude, be careful. Go, bro. Dude, seriously. Dude, find a safe spot, pull over, and then type your friggin' message in. Dude, I don't want you getting into a car wreck because of this. Original Tribal Chief Roman Reigns or Undertaker back to Undertaker. I don't even have to think about it. Taker is the greatest. Taker is the greatest character in professional wrestling history. He's one of the best big men of all time, and another guy that had an amazingly long career. For me, it's Taker. And admittedly, I'm biased because I'm an older guy. I just think Taker had a much bigger fingerprint on the business, on the industry. Yeah, Mal, please, God, Mal, be careful, dude. See. Oh, so that was her question. Okay.
Yeah, Undertaker all the way.
Yeah, for me, it's Taker. But it's an interesting discussion though.
So you're taking Randy or are you taking Roman Reigns?
I'm taking Randy. Honestly, right now, as it stands right now, I think Randy is bigger than is better than Roman Reigns. 5 years from now, who knows? Maybe it changes. Yeah. Big Daddy said Race was great, but not only is he not better than Bruno, but Flair, Jack Briscoe, or Funk. I would say yes. I would say Bruno is better than Race. I'd say Flair is better than Race. Briscoe or Funk? That's a tough one, man. Because I do like Funk, man. Jack Briscoe. I'm not as up on Jack Briscoe as far as, I mean, don't get me wrong. I know the impact that guy had on the friggin' industry and everything, but I'm not as familiar with him as I am the other guys. That's a tough one. That's why I brought this segment back. I love this segment. It was my favorite segment we used to do back in the day. And because of this match with him and Gunther, I was like, we got to bring it back. We got to bring it back. But El Santo or Randy, I am not anywhere near as familiar with El Santo as I am with Randy. So for me, it would be Randy. So yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. The Briscoes and the Funks, like they're like, again, those are two families that have their fingerprints all over professional wrestling in multiple generations.
I agree with Leg Kick. Those guys wouldn't say they were better than Race.
No, you're right. You're right. And Ric Flair has actually said multiple times he thinks Harley Race was like, until he met Shawn Michaels, he thinks Shawn Michaels is the greatest wrestler of all time. But Randy Orton or John Cena? Nope. We'll save that one for another week.
Yeah,
that'll be another question for another week, Scarlett. So you're gonna have to show back up next week to find out. But
is that a hint for next week?
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, we'll throw that on there. Dude. Ric Flair thinks that Shawn Michaels is the greatest showman that ever in all professional wrestling. So, it matters what the fans think. We pay the money to see them. Yeah, 100%. But anyway, guys,
it matters what the fans think. But if you get yourself over and McMahon didn't do it for you, then he has a problem.
Yeah. OTS struggling. He got beat up in my backyard, automatically disqualified. Mally says Randy because I've never seen Cena. Yeah, these are one of those topics that is so much fun, man. And we used to argue left and right. So, but all right, that's this week's Who Better Than Randy, and we will do another one next week, man, because it seems to be really popular. So, but we got to move on. We've got to talk about Bash in Berlin,
and All Out.
And All Out. We got to make we do have to really quickly make our predictions for All Out. You get mopped by a Marine in a bar in my shithole, automatically disqualified. All right. So this last weekend, obviously Bash in Berlin. Pretty short match card. There's only 5 matches. I agree with Big Daddy that there's no way the Undisputed Championship match should have gone first. I understand the reasoning behind it. I just don't agree with it. But for whatever reason, we got Cody Rhodes versus Kevin Owens first. And the buildup wasn't great. The storyline, again, like I said, the booking for Cody has been kind of But as far as the match itself, this was actually a good match. This was a really good match. Both of these guys can go. They told a really good story in the ring. They didn't take the obvious route, which everybody thought that Owens was going to turn heel. He didn't. I actually was one of the few people that didn't think he was going to turn heel. And to add some legitimacy to the match and whatnot, they created the leg injury angle. Neither guy. This was interesting because unlike a lot of times when you have two baby faces facing each other, one guy will become the aggressor to kind of play the heel a little bit. And so especially when you've got your top baby faces, your world champion, they didn't do that here. Neither guy was like the primary aggressor through the majority of the match. It went back and forth.
Yep.
It was a really good show. It was a good match. It was a really good match. Ultimately, at the end of the day, though, I don't really care about it. That was the thing that really bothered me because, there's no stakes. Scarlett said, dude, the only pay-per-view you will see undisputed title or the world title changes either Royal Rumble or WrestleMania. No, because we just saw the world title change hands at SummerSlam. It was Gunther versus Damian Priest.
Yeah.
So it's rare, though. You're right, though. It is rare. It's rare that you'll see it. And I didn't expect any titles to change hands. One title did, but I don't really. It's the title that nobody really cares about.
Yeah, you're not going to see world titles change on these lesser pay-per-views.
Yeah. And obviously this match didn't end with any controversy. Unfortunately, they're saying that the next match up for quote Cody Rhodes is a rematch with Solo Sikoa, which I guess is fine as long if they're going to progress this storyline that's going on with the Bloodline. I think I'm hoping what's going to happen is this is going to lead into Survivor Series, and we're going to have Team Roman, which will be probably him and the Usos, and Cody versus the Bloodline 2.0. We'll see. I just want them to book Cody. I want them to book Cody storyline wise better, because so far, although the matches have been great, the matches have been good, there's no stakes to it. There's nothing behind it. But everybody knew. Yeah. Oh yeah. In this pay-per-view, we all knew that none of those belts were changing hands.
Yeah.
Now if this were still the Vince McMahon era, if Vince got tired of you 5 minutes after you showed up, you could be losing everything. So it remains to be seen. I said, dang it, it's a merge, not a racist, so you can get in front first. Dude, I swear to God, dude, you're making me sweat. Dude, I'm worried about you, man. But it was a good match. And like I said, we'll see what happens going forward. But it'll also be interesting to see what happens with Kevin Owens, considering he hasn't renegotiated his contract yet. Next match, women's.
I thought Kevin Owens signed a contract a couple months ago, 3-year deal.
No, from what I understand, his contract is still open.
I thought it was a 3-year deal between $2 and $3 million.
Kevin Owens contract. When does Kevin Owens' contract expire? Kevin Owens stated that his current contract runs out early 2025. So first quarter of next year. From what I understand, he's got like 6 months left. So we'll see what happens. They're not going to let him leave.
No.
So I'd be surprised. WWE Women's Tag Team title, Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair versus the unholy union of Alba Fire and Isla Dawn. I don't care about the women's tag team belts. I do think that it was a good idea, although it was weird the way they did it. I do think it was a good idea to put the belts on a legit tag team in the unholy union, because they've been together as a tag team, legitimately, primarily as a tag team for a long time. And there's not a lot of female tag teams like that. Unfortunately, they didn't book them worth of crap.
Nope.
And Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair, who are both singles stars, especially Bianca Belair, who in my personal opinion, next to Rhea Ripley, is the best woman on the women's roster right now. And that's exactly it. We know that eventually the two of them are going to turn on each other. The only reason that Jade is with Bianca right now is Jade is still somewhat green, and Bianca is there to help elevate her, which she's done, she's doing a pretty good job of that. The problem is I'm not seeing Jade progress very much as a singles star since her time in AEW. I'm starting to get Moose vibes from Jade. She's got everything else, man. She's got the look. She's got the talk. She's crazy popular. But when she steps between the ropes, she becomes suspect.
Yep.
and
Yes.
which is exactly why she's with Bianca. And Bianca did the majority of the lion's share of the I still think Jade's got big upside. I think at some point, she's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
And
well,
she's tailor made for WWE. But right now, it ain't it.
yeah, be evidenced by last night with
Yeah.
Kyrie Sane.
Well, that wasn't Jade's fault. That wasn't Jade's fault.
Part
What
of
happened
it-
with that
Part
was,
of it's her fault.
well, it was because of whenever you have a milling around like that, a scrum going on like that on the outside of the ring, people bumping into each other and whatnot, it can happen. But Bianca was out of, like I said, Bianca was out of position. Fire tried to pull her into position, and but unfortunately that happened as Kyrie was altering her trajectory so that she would, and that it happens. The match was fine. Like I said, 3 of the people in there are actually really good. One of them is one of the best in the women's wrestling today. So it was a fine match. I don't think they should have taken the belts off of Fire and Dawn. I think, like I said, I think it's better if you leave them on a legit tag team. And we know that eventually Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair are going to split up. So
Yeah, and you're not building it. You're not building anything by playing musical titles with the women's tag belts.
yeah. Scarlett said Jade botched worse than Tonga Loa. Dude, that's pretty rough. Depends on how the Bianca versus Jade feud happens. Half their life, but some are like that. See, Jade could run in and shake the ropes. Dude, she's not that bad. But yeah, it was fine. It was an okay match. Like I said, Bianca Belair did the lion's share of the heavy lifting, but it was good. Next match, strap match, CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. So I have a question for you.
Yes.
Do you, when it comes to strap matches like this one, do you prefer the newer style, which like Cody versus Brody Lee? Okay, where it wasn't, they didn't have to touch the turnbuckles. It was basically you just beat the living crap out of each other until one of you can't go anymore. Do you like that, or do you like the traditional way where you have to touch all 4 corners?
I like the beat the crap out of somebody till they either submit or pass out.
Okay. I actually prefer that as well. And that was one of the big issues with this match that I saw some people had. They said that they thought the dog collar, was it the dog collar match between him and Max was far better. This was a good match. Would I have preferred it to be the newer way? 100%. I think it makes more sense. And I think the touching the 4 post corners kind of like altered the trajectory of the match a little bit. But overall, I thought this match was the next to the Gunther Randy match. This was the best match of the night. I love the storytelling in it. Although I'm done with the friggin' bracelet. And honestly, I think this would have been the perfect cherry on top to this is the icing on the cake. This would have been the perfect cherry on top for this feud. And I think it was time for them to move on. Now, do I think they're going to run it back? The match, they're going to run it back. Do I think it's going to be a good match? Yeah, it'll be great. It'll probably be a cage match or maybe Hell in a Cell.
Yep.
Something along those lines. I'm glad the bracelet thing is done because it's been destroyed unless they make a new one, which, oh, geez, God.
Bracelet cell. Yeah. What you need to do is have Punk versus McIntyre, Bad Blood, Hell in a Cell, or cage match, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
AJ Lee comes down, gets in the ring.
Okay.
Does a ball shot to CM Punk and costs her husband the match.
Why?
You did this.
Oh, yeah, I don't know about that, man.
Mhm.
Um,
Do it. Do it.
I'd rather. That's a totally a Vince thing right there, man. That's a Vince move, bro. I don't. Yeah, I'd rather she just stayed away. But regardless, when they do finish this match, this next match, I want it to be the end. I want it to be over.
So do I.
This thing's been going on since January. That being said, I thought the storytelling was great. They beat the living piss out of each other, which is great. I got everything out of this match that I wanted in. And I'm going to tell you something right now. WWE, they're booking him very, very well right now. But they need to stand up and recognize what they have in Drew McIntyre. This dude, he's 6'5", 275 pounds. He's a freaking monster. He's a beast. And this guy can go. He can go.
And that's what AEW should be doing with Big Bill.
I swear to God, man. Re-signing him was brilliant, smart. And I honestly think that right now he's being pushed exactly the way he needs to be. But I think they need to recognize the fact that this guy, he's on another level, man. He might be the best bigger guy working in the business today. But it was a great match. I liked it. Mixed tag match: Rhea Ripley, Damian Priest versus Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio. This was actually more fun. I'm not the biggest fan of intergender matches. This one was actually a lot more fun than I was expecting it to be. But I personally think the wrong people won. I understand that they're trying to book Rhea and Damian strong. You don't want them to lose all the time. But when you're in there and it's 5v2, you shouldn't be winning. Okay. What needs to happen is they should have been about to win. The rest of Judgment Day comes down, costs them the match, and then they start collecting people together to help even the odds. Okay. That's the way it should happen. The baby faces should always chase the heels. I'm an old school guy. That's the way I think. Dude, I 100% could. Well, when you've got three other guys beating the crap out of him, I'm 100% okay with him getting the pin, and that's exactly what a heel would do. A heel, like Dominic's a coward. Okay, the character he plays, he's a coward. But if he can get one up on you, he'll steal a win because he's got no honor. That's the whole idea behind the character. So, me personally, I think that they should have won, and Damian and Rhea should have regrouped. It should have been a visual. Damian and Rhea should have got like a visual pin, but not get the count, and then Judgment Day comes down and screws them over. That's the way, in my personal opinion, that's the way it should have gone. And just add more of that nuclear heat to Dominic by having him act like he's some kind of badass, when in reality he was being a little chicken shit the whole friggin' match. And obviously, I know the reason they're doing this is they're building up for Rhea versus Liv again, and I'm pretty sure that Rhea's going to win. But overall, it was a fun match. I wasn't annoyed by it. It was good. And then we come to the match of the night. Again, I don't think this should have been the headliner, but freaking hell, man, these guys freaking tore it down. My God. The Ring General.
Yeah.
Gunther defeated Randy Orton in a badass match, dude. Oh my God. And this match, this was a statement from both guys. First off, this solidified Gunther's place as a top of the card guy. He's a world title guy from here on out, and he should be. The dude's awesome. Said it before and I said it again. The man is he's a Marvel villain come to life. And I love the fact he looks like a badass. He wrestles like he's a throwback in the best way possible, absolute best way possible. And he's in there with Randy freaking Orton, the legend killer, and the two of them put on a freaking clinic. This match whooped a mountain lion's ass. Daniel Garcia will have a good showing. I think we might get somebody coming out to help MJF, but I can't see MJF losing to Daniel Garcia.
Yeah, I can't see that happening either.
Yeah.
I can't see MJF losing on back-to-back pay-per-views.
No, definitely not.
He lost the title to Will Ospreay, and to lose to Daniel Garcia, I just don't see that happening.
Yeah, I agree with you. What the hell? Anyway. There it goes. Now we're back on YouTube. Willow Nightingale versus Chris Statlander in a Chicago street fight. I really like Chris Statlander. I like Willow Nightingale. I think she's good too. But I want to see Chris Statlander elevated to being a top heel. I really think that she's got that ability. So hopefully that's what they do here. I'm picking Chris Statlander over Nightingale.
Same here.
So we'll see what happens there.
I just think Willow's had too many victories over Statlander, and it's time to right that ship a little bit.
Yeah, they need to. Statlander needs to come out and just be a freaking murderer, and just absolutely kill friggin' Willow here. Just be like, have her come out like, all right, I'm done screwing around. I'm done that. Now I'm gonna friggin' hurt you. So I'm picking Statlander over Nightingale. Mercedes Moné versus Hikaru Shida for the TBS Championship. As much as I love Hikaru Shida, and I really do, and I'm glad that they're giving her more opportunities like this instead of relegating her to the background, they ain't taking that belt off Mercedes. CEO. Stupid dance. Hopefully, again, Mercedes Moné, her promos have been absolute dog shit. Her work in the ring, she's going in there with Hikaru Shida. Hikaru Shida is one of the best workers in AEW, and hopefully we get to see the Mercedes Moné that we've been wanting to see. Obviously, that last match, Britt was not up to the task, coming off of 2 herniated discs and the seizure issues that she was having. She had a lot of ring rust, and even so, I think over the last 2 years that Britt has regressed as far as her ability in the ring is concerned. Mercedes being in there with someone like Hikaru Shida who can go, I'm thinking this might be her best match since joining AEW, and I'm looking forward to it because I like Hikaru Shida, but I'm picking Mercedes on this one. You pick the CEO, you were saying the CEO.
Yep.
All right, Swerve Strickland versus Hangman Adam Page. I'll be honest with you here, man. Swerve's going to win this. Swerve's going to win this because, like you said, they're not going to have him lose back-to-back matches. The guy was just your world champion. Okay, you're not going to have him lose back-to-back matches. However, if it were me booking this, I would actually have Hangman win this match. They need to do something to get Swerve as invested in this rivalry as Hangman is. And I think the way you do that is you have Hangman beat him. And then you run it back at the next pay-per-view. And I think these two guys going forward are going to be chief rivals for the next few years. I do want to see Swerve Strickland in a different program than with Hangman after this. But I think right now with this one, I think Hangman I would have Hangman win this because Hangman needs a win. He hasn't had a win in a while. So, but I don't see them putting 2 losses on Swerve back to back. What do you think?
So who you got? You got Swerve or you got Hangman?
I got Swerve.
All right.
If I was booking it, I would have Hangman, but I'm not booking it, so I've got Swerve.
I'm not booking it either, but I'm going with Cowboy shit.
Cowboy shit wins.
I'm going with Hangman.
Yeah, it's been a while. Hangman needs a win. I really do think Hangman needs a win, but I just can't see them putting 2 losses on Swerve back to back like that. But we'll see. It'll be a good match. It'll be a really good match. So actually, the next match is probably going to be the match of the night. Will Ospreay versus Pac for the AEW International Championship. This is going to slap like hell, man. This is going to be awesome. These guys have only wrestled once in their entire careers. That was a long time ago, and they're both way better than they were then. And this is the match. I'll be freaking. They're not going to take this belt off of Will that soon.
No,
but I really think that the perfect guy down the line to take this belt off of Will Ospreay is Pac. I think the international championship works really well with Pac.
I don't have a problem with that if that means you're elevating Ospreay to the world title scene.
Yeah, I think, and I think by this time next year, Ospreay is going to be the world champion. I really do. But I got Ospreay winning this. This is going to be a freaking banger. Match of the night in my prediction right here. Crown's up, baby.
Ospreay for the win.
Now, the only way that doesn't happen, however, is if someone comes out and interferes. But I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think you're going to take the belt off of Ospreay 2 weeks after he won it back.
No.
So yeah, and then the AEW World Championship match: Bryan Danielson versus TNT champion Jack Perry. Look, I understand the storyline idea behind this. I don't hate Jack Perry. I just think there's a lot of other people that you could have put in here as his next challenger.
Yes.
Okay. Jay White, friggin', Malachi Black. There's a bunch of people that I think you put in this before Jack freaking Perry. Okay. Jack Perry is getting to the point where he's starting to feel like Roman Reigns 5 or 6 years ago. He's getting shoved down our throats. And I'm tired of it. I understand what Tony Khan's doing. I think Tony Khan's being a little bit of a bitch. And he's like, I'm going to put the guy that all the people in Chicago hate because of CM Punk. Stop letting CM Punk dictate your freaking actions. The guy's been out of your company for a year. Okay? Move
on.
the hell on. I'm done with this. All right? I'm done. Okay? That being said, it's Bryan Danielson. It'll be a good match. Because Bryan Danielson doesn't have bad matches.
It could be a better match.
It would be a better match with any of the other people I just said.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm thinking right now there's at least 3 or 4 people that I would put in there ahead of Jack Perry. But this is the match we're getting. It'll be a good match because Danielson won't let it not be a good match. But I also think that Bryan Danielson needs to win definitively with this. We'll see what happens.
But if he wins definitively, does that lessen the TNT title for Jack Perry?
TNT title is already in the mud. The TNT title has not been relevant for a while. It hasn't been relevant since Christian lost it. Okay. The other thing too is they need to change the damn name of the thing. Stop calling it the TNT title. Just call it the AEW television title. Brought to you by TNT. Do something like that. Calling it the TNT Championship is stupid. Same thing with the TBS championship. Those should be the TV titles. I don't know how to feel about this match, man. I really don't, because of all you got to come off of Bryan Danielson and Swerve Strickland and go to Bryan Danielson and Jack Perry. This was a fumble with TK, in my personal opinion.
Yeah.
That being said, it's what we got. It'll be a good match because, like I said, Bryan Danielson doesn't have bad matches. I honestly I'm more interested in what happens after this match than the actual match itself. So, but that's the match as it stands so far. Hey, guess what? No friggin' tag team match. Maybe we'll get that. And then maybe we'll finally get the freaking belts off the freaking Bucks.
Yeah.
So that they can actually do something with them and stop taking a massive dump on the tag team division.
All right.
God, I'm so done with the Bucks on this run.
All right. So if they add FTR versus Grizzled Young Veterans, who do you have in that match? I have FTR, but
FTR versus Grizzled Young Veterans. I think they put I think they put the veterans over. Okay, at this point, man, I still think FTR are the best tag team in the business today. But they're company guys through and through, and Dax is all about elevating everybody else.
yeah, because that's another rumored match that could happen.
That would be a good match. It would be a good match, and I would personally have FTR. If it was me booking, I would have FTR go on a freaking tear like they did 2 years ago. Have them kill everybody, get the damn belts, defend them against everybody, defend them outside of AEW, put some friggin' legitimacy, some relevance back on those tag titles. Because right now, they got none. They're cold. They're ice cold.
Yep.
Ice freaking cold. And if you told me that 2 years ago that the AEW tag team division would be ice cold, I tell you, you're crazy. Because they have, without a doubt, the best tag team division in professional wrestling. So, I don't know why they don't have those belts on Bullet Club Gold. Bullet Club Gold right now, in my personal opinion, are the hottest thing in tag team wrestling. Juice Robinson is a friggin' godsend. Okay, the Guns are killing it.
Yeah.
Why are they not your tag champions? You got them on two dillweeds who haven't defended them, who defended them once in 4 months. Anyway. All right. That's our predictions for All Out. Should be a good show. Like I said, the pay-per-views usually are. And yeah, we'll see. It'll be interesting this weekend.
And sorry about the internet connection there.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just bad today. But appreciate everyone was here. Big Daddy, Guardian of Chaos, Scarlet, Leg Kick, OTS Tribal Queen.
Cleveland Sports Guards.
Yep. Cleveland Sports Guards, Maldacito, and Leg Kick. Anybody else I'm missing?
Hopefully you made it home safe there, Maldacito.
Oh, sweet God, tell me you did. Dude, you start scaring me when you start talking about, I almost missed this. And I was like, dude, you stop typing and go home. But appreciate you guys. And like I said, leave a comment after the video post. Tell us what you guys want us to talk about next week. If there are any particular storylines that you want us to look into. And yeah, we will see you guys next week. Bye.